What's in a welcome? The theme of this year's Refugee Week is the Year of Welcome, with the aim of the week to raise awareness about the issues affecting refugees and celebrate the positive contributions made by refugees to Australian society. You might have been listening to Kim Hun on Sunday, a fantastic focus on Refugee Week, and Adam Shirley every morning on Mornings is playing Kim Hun's series. It's a 5-episode series where he interviews his parents and their journey from Vietnam to Australia. Really incredible. Do tune in. You'll be able to find that all online. Zach Quinn is an author and case manager who spent time working on Manus Island, and Zaki Haidari is an asylum seeker who's been detained on Christmas Island. They both join us now. Good morning. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
And good morning,
Thanks
Zach.
for having me.
Good morning, Zaki.
Sorry, it's confusing. We've both got very similar names.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Well, our comedy duo show will be on the road soon. So,
How did you both meet?
Through an acquaintance, through someone else that we know. I was invited to do an online conversation with Amnesty International on it just happened on Sunday night, and I wanted to find someone to give a perspective from the other side of the detention centre fence. So through an acquaintance, Zaki and I were hooked up, and we had a really good event on Sunday night.
Yeah.
And it's all still available on YouTube, and I'll get to those details in a moment.
Yes.
But Zaki, can you give us that side of the fence?
Yeah, sure. There's not much to say, many happy things to say, but it is like a prison that you're in a room, locked down, can't go out, don't know how long you have to be locked in. Life is the same every day. So there's a lot of like negative things to say about it, but not many positive things to say.
Now, where was your home country?
I am from Afghanistan, from Haidari community.
And now in Canberra, where are you based now?
I am in Canberra, yep.
So what does this year of welcome mean to you?
Welcome means different things to me. I have been living in Australia for about 8 years now. I am still on a temporary visa. I can't call Australia my permanent home still, which doesn't feel like very welcoming. But in the other side, I have been welcomed through the community. In many ways, I couldn't speak any English when I came to Australia, and I didn't have any money to go to a college or a language course to learn English. So the community was very supportive. I got a scholarship through the community to go and learn English, and then to be able to go to college to skill up my skills. And now I have a full-time job working at ANU. So I have so many good experience from Australian community, and those all sort of made me welcome.
What about you, Zach?
I wish I could be more excited about the Year of Welcome, particularly in Australia. And it's a really important concept, but we have been so unwelcoming of refugees, people seeking asylum and the like, which is just very wrong to me as an Australian. We've always been a very welcoming country. We're a nation built by immigrants and people seeking asylum and refugees. I think it's about time that we remembered that, and we remember that we need to continue being a welcoming country, especially if we want to begin to erase the stain of our reputation that is caused by offshore detention, of which I had personal experience, and believe me, it was pretty horrific experience.
This is a very unusual time we find ourselves in with COVID-19, with all immigration shut down to Australia, our borders closed. What would you like to see happen when the borders reopen?
Well, personally, I think this is a fantastic opportunity, as much as you can have a fantastic opportunity in such a difficult time. We already are quite a generous nation in terms of our immigration intake, and that's really been really important for the Australian economy and for diversity in our nation as well. I would love to see, when our borders reopen, a significant increase in the proportion of people we take in seeking asylum, refugees and the like. This is a unique opportunity, even if we do it just for a couple of years or so, to significantly increase that proportion. We don't have to bring in a single extra person on top of our current migration intake. We just need to change the proportion of it. And just an opportunity to bring in a whole bunch of different people with different skills who need a little bit of safety, who need to be able to just be able to rebuild a life in a place that can support them and that can give them the opportunity to create jobs for other Australians. I think it's an amazing opportunity, and I'd really like the government to consider taking that up.
My guest this morning on ABC Radio Canberra at 16 to 7, Zach Quinn. It's the voice you just heard there. He's an author and case manager who spent some time working on Manus Island. And Zaki Haidari, who's an asylum seeker, spent some time being detained on Christmas Island. So you said, Zaki, you have been in Canberra, Australia, for 8 years, and the welcome came from the community. What sort of heart did you find in Canberra?
I was initially living in Sydney for about 4 years before I was granted a temporary visa, which then I had to move out to kind of rural Australia, and that's why I moved to Canberra. So it was really hard to move in to Canberra again, start everything all over. But I do have really good friends in Canberra now from Australian community, and I can call Canberra home now. So Canberra has been really nice to me and Canberrian, the people in the community. So I'm really happy now living in Canberra, although I don't know how long I have.
This
My
is it,
visa is
isn't it?
expiring next year.
Because
Yeah.
you're on your temporary protection visa, expires next year. How's that process played out and communicated to you? Or is it just unknown?
Yeah, it's just unknown. So my visa is expiring next year, and I don't know if I will be able to apply for another visa or if I will be deported back to where I escaped from.
If you are deported back, what awaits?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can survive, to be honest. The moment I land to Afghanistan could have been my last day in my life.
Yeah, it's this idea of the year of welcome, and Zach and Zaki, you've highlighted that it doesn't feel that it's very welcoming. Zach, you recently started a charity called Amicus. Can you tell us about that?
That's exactly why we started this charity. A small group of friends and myself, it was only a couple of months ago or so, we realised that there were so many people within the Australian community who, particularly those people on temporary visas, who have been cut off to access to any coronavirus benefits. My personal situation, I lost quite a few hours of my employment, but I was able to claim the job seeker allowance and the coronavirus supplement. So for me, getting financially, the coronavirus pandemic hasn't had that much of an impact on me. But unfortunately, there was a report from SBS just recently that there's over 2 million people in Australia who have no access to those same benefits. And they're also people who are usually the first to lose their jobs because they are on temporary visas. It's hard enough to get a job when you don't know how long you'll be allowed to stay in Australia for. It's already hard to get a job when it's hard to get your qualifications recognised, when the government's created a stigma around you, when you've struggled with some mental health issues from what the Australian government has done to you, and in particular when you've been locked up in offshore prisons for years on end. It's hard to stay up to date with the skills in your industry. So Amicus, the Humble Friend Project, has been started up to try and get some financial support out to those people in particular.
So if people want to support that, because Zaki, I'd like to ask you how you've found COVID. Where have you found the support? Because we have the Asylum Seekers Resource Centre, and are people able to donate directly? What do you need?
Yeah, look, I have been very lucky that I haven't lost my job. So I still get the same hours that I used to have. But I know a lot of people that they lost their job and they couldn't get any benefits. So they are like really down mentally, staying home, not having job, and not having any support. So it is really hard.
Where do
time
they
for a
find
lot
the
of
support
people.
then?
So yeah, as you said, Asylum Resource Centre is one of the places that they can go. But then Canberra, it's Companion House that provides some little support to people on temporary visas. So
And
there's
there-
charity organisation.
There are a lot of organisations out there that are involved in this space, which is fantastic, but it's such a huge problem that there's still not enough money that's able to go to help these people. I think it's something around 80% of temporary visa holders have lost their jobs or had reduced hours since the coronavirus crisis occurred. So there is a very significant number of people out there who need help.
Thank you so much. So if people want to find out more, is there an umbrella organisation or somewhere people can go to find out more how their donations might be able to be better directed?
Look, I think it's just worth hopping onto Google and just Googling asylum seeker charity, asylum seeker not-for-profits and the like. There are quite a few organisations out there. There's a lot of people who are working in this space, but we all need as much support as we can to try and help those people in need. So yeah, get online, do some research, and if you are doing reasonably okay in this situation financially, please consider donating some money.
Thanks so much to you both for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Zach Quinn, author and case manager, and Zaki Haidari, an asylum seeker who's living in Canberra now on a temporary protection visa until next year at least. Lish Fejer with you this morning on ABC Radio Canberra.